Hey, thanks for tuning in to Five Lakes Garage. Tonight it was gonna do something I wasn't really planning on doing, but this weekend coming up, we're gonna do a little bit of off-roading with this thing. Finally gonna get its shoes dirty, but there is one thing I do need to address before we actually do that. Now, a quick history on this 2019 Toyota Tacoma Off-Road Edition. It's got plenty of mods on it already, but we got some more coming. One of them is gonna be done today, and basically, the reason why we're actually doing it is because we went a little too far. Not really went too far, but we did want to have some 285, 75, 16s put on this thing. And that's what I picked up. I picked out some Goodyear Duratrax. And the problem is that even with the 3.5 inch rough country that we put on, it is still rubbing the body mount. Everybody pretty much knows about the body mount mod. Basically, I think it's called the body mount chop. So we're going to do that tonight. Hopefully it will not take too long, but there's a couple things that you need to do prior to doing it yourself. One of them being disconnect your battery. Don't be grinding and welding and all that type of stuff on your frame with the battery connected. There's a lot of computers in that thing and we don't want to screw them up. So anyway, we need to make some clearance for these big honking tires, especially when we go off-road. And what we're going to do... Stay. Alright, why don't you come on over and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Alright, so some people actually say, what exactly is the body mount chop? Well, basically the tire fits in here, and as it turns, you can see right here, right where it rubs. So it rubs against this little plastic thing, so cut it off. And it's also rubbing against the body mount. Now what we're actually going to do is cut this off. We can just use a razor knife or whatever. We're going to cut the plastic. Get rid of that. There's plenty of fasteners to keep this up. We're just going to nip the tip of the body mold here. Just cut it off. It's plastic. There is a screw underneath. I'm going to try to get really close to it, but not hit the screw because we don't want this thing flopping in the breeze. Now the major part of it is actually going to be some steel work, because right here is the body mount. As you can see, it's rubbing right here on the corner. Now I have not taken this thing off road yet. This is just around town. But that's how much it rubs. We want to get rid of that. We want to give it a little extra room. So what I did was actually take a Sharpie and do some rough lines. All right, so I did some rough lines around. Push it out of the way. Exactly where I want to cut. So I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to make a template. Now what I'm going to use is actually some 3/16 mild steel that I have sent over there from another project. Basically, we're just going to put a plate up there, weld it on there. It's going to be nice and strong, and it shouldn't be any problem. Now, there are kits out there that actually will give you a new piece. It's already been cut. You can use that as a template and then cut this over, and those work great because I don't have that kind of time, and I do have the material here that I can make it with. The biggest thing, you have to protect it with some paint. Make sure it doesn't rust. Make sure you disconnect your battery. I'm going to say that again because you do not want to fry your computers because you are welding onto the frame. So the final thing that we're actually going to do is right behind this right here. So right behind this right here is actually, you'll see it once I cut this off, but there is a inner pinch weld. And what we're going to do with that is kind of nip it a little bit and then beat it over to the side. Now we're going to use a BFH on that one. It's a big friendly hammer. And then we're going to go ahead and knock it over. And once we knock it over, we need to protect that as well because... All right, got everything covered, mostly. I got a little bit of this over here, but I want to go ahead and get the inner liner out of the way. Grab myself a nice, very sharp razor knife. Now let's cut this off. Now this is the pinch weld that I was telling you about. So we're just going to nip it up here. We're going to fold it over, and then that'll still give it strength and get it the heck out of the way. So anyway... we're going to cut that. We're going to trim this section here, paint it all black, and call it a day. Alright, well, got everything prepped. Now it's time to cut some steel. The plastic was really easy to cut off. The steel, it's going to be easy. Because, since I got one, might as well use it. I'm going to use a plasma cutter. Just to zip that out real quick. Going underneath, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to lie to you. But we're going to get this thing out, and if that all fails, there's places where you just can't get, then you kind of use the cutoff wheel or a Sawzall or whatever you got. Cutoff wheel works great. Plasma coat is just a whole lot faster. Make sure you wear your spectacles. So easy that was? Very easy. Just got to get the bottom section. This whole plate should come off. I can hit it with the grinder, kind of clean it up a little bit. I did do it freehand. Not the greatest in the world. Probably should have used a straight edge, but that's all right. One thing that I didn't mention before, when I made my lines, I measured about 3.5 inches away from the actual frame itself. I was watching a couple of the videos and from other people that are doing this, and they all said the same thing. Go 3.5 inches. Boom. Once I get the plate, and if I don't like it, I'll cut off some more. That's fine. I got the plasma. So anyway, cut the bottom. This should fall off, and we can go on from there. Let me get some gloves though if I'm gonna go underneath. All right, cut it all the way around. Use a screwdriver, kind of pry off the little bits that you may have missed. There she goes. There you go. She's off. Now I can just clean that up and then make my template, weld the new one on. So I didn't hurt it too bad. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna grab my grinder, grind all this stuff, make them look pretty. So when I put my plate on, I should just be able to weld it and be in good shape. Where's my grinder? And my other glasses. It's hard to do that with the shaded ones. Right back. All right, so I got the hole cut. I actually got it cleaned up okay. Now make sure you grind all the way around because you don't want to have paint while you're trying to weld, because it kind of contaminates your weld and it doesn't make it very strong. Not only that, we have some bare steel out there and we don't want this thing to rust. This is not a Gen 2 that had the rust problems. This is Gen 3. So we're going to use some weld through primer. And basically I'm going to put that on there before I actually weld. And then I'm going to go grab some of the steel and make a template. Actually, I'm going to grab a piece of cardboard, then make a template, then transfer that to steel, then put it on here and massage it very carefully to make it fit. So let's get some primer on there so it doesn't rust. And I'm going to do it left-handed, and I'm not left-handed. I'm not overly concerned about it being gray because I'm going to be painting it black once I'm done. Where's my cardboard? Get my cardboard. All right, I got my cardboard, just basic little waffle cardboard, and I got a hammer. I'm gonna stick it up here, and there you go. That's what you need. Now, just to make sure, grab yourself a pair of scissors and cut it out. All right, just go transfer this over to some steel, cut it out, and get going. Let's go. All right, so we got our steel. All right, so I just tacked it in real quick. Forgot to turn my gas on, so it looks kind of boogery. But I have gas on now, and what we're gonna do is actually stitch this in a little bit. And as we go, we're gonna take our little friendly hammer here and actually massage the steel to be able to close in some of these gaps. Once I get the top done all the way up to here, I'm gonna take this and kind of hammer it back to try to meet the bottom a little bit. And then also maybe a little bit on the frame here to be able to just fill in the gap a little bit. If not, then I'll just grab another piece of steel and just kind of use it as a filler. And it should be nice and strong. So let's throw some sparks and hopefully I don't get it down my legs, because of course I'm not the smartest dude in the world because I'm wearing shorts. But that's what I do. Alright, so that should be okay for at least the top. As you know, I went here and then went there and there, just to try to dissipate the heat a little bit. Don't want to make it too hot, but now I'm just going to massage it like a Japanese masseuse. And we're going to make it good. All right, so I've ground it all down. Well, welded it first, ground it all down, And actually, I think it looks pretty darn good. Now, we do need to paint it. We're going to get to that here in a second. But next thing we're going to do is actually hammer this guy down. Now, I went ahead and just notched a little bit with the cutoff wheel. While I had the cutoff wheel, I went ahead and notched the guard here just a little bit. And I didn't go into the steel at all. I just kind of brushed it in there. Now, what I might do is actually take the grinder and just cut that right off a little bit. Because if you see it right here, this is going to stick out just a little bit and you don't want to cut a tire. So I'm just going to zip that right there to make it even with what we've already done. See, it's easy. Anybody can do it. It's not that bad, actually. It's just time consuming. Anyway, I need a bigger hammer because my little ball peen probably ain't going to do it. Where's my sledge? All right, here's my sledge. Now this one right here is actually probably older than I am. I don't know. It was my dad's. You know, they know how to build them right back then. All right, let's close your eyes if you don't want to see this because I am beating on a fairly new truck. All right, well there he is. There is the chop. So still got a little bit of plastic here. Painted everything. Make sure you get up inside. But right now, that thing is chopped. Let's put the wheel on and see how much more room we got. All right, the wheel is on. Everything is set to go. It even started, so I guess I didn't screw anything up. But it is on there. I did put a 6x6 block down here at the bottom. That's going to simulate the curb up at the mall or the grocery store or wherever. Malls are almost dead. But anyway, check out how much clearance we have now with the 285, 75, 16s. All right, so this right here is actually still sticking out a little bit, but that's okay because the wheel actually turns in before, way after it gets past this. But I can now stick my, well, that's wet paint. Anyway, I can stick my whole hand in there. That is not what we had before. Basically, it was rubbing because you saw the witness marks. All right, so that's basically all you need to do in order to do a body mount chop on a Tacoma. Now, hopefully this will be enough to where when I stuff this thing up in the on the trails, that I'm not gonna rub anymore. Now, the only thing I need to do is actually do the same thing on the other side. Now, it only seems that I'm rubbing on this side, not the other side. It's kind of weird, but that might be just a Toyota thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the other side just in case. Now, a couple things that I could have done differently was I didn't have to have such a large tire. Yes, this is a 285/75, but they're not all created equal. If you look at the actual specs, this is about a 34-inch tall tire. A regular one, I've seen them anywhere from like 32.5, 33, all the way up to this junker. But I went ahead and chopped it anyway, just so I can actually get it out of the way. So anyway, put down in the comments if you have any questions or anything like that. It's pretty simple. There's tons of videos out there. You don't have to just rely on mine. You can rely on anybody else's. Hey, we're all trying to do the same thing as trying to help you guys and gals out on actually maintaining your Tacomas or whatever. Jeeps, trucks, I don't know, whatever. We're here for you. Anyway, take it easy, have fun, enjoy yourself, and we'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.